Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews, and welcome back to Northern Ontario. We're going to take a look at a review of a paint. Now generally, how much can you say about a paint, right? But this particular paint is so special, you're not going to believe it, and it's got to be about the least expensive paint that you can buy. And so far, what I've experienced, well, it's probably the best. So let's give you a little bit of a tour of what I've done, and we'll see how you think this paint might work out to be maybe one of your best paints too. Okay, so there's the front of my little garage, and it was so stained up and weather beaten from the sun. Well, I'll tell you what, you can see this looks like here. This took a gallon just for the red, and then the white, 2 coats as well, and I think it turned out fantastic. Now, I will tell you something. This has got to be one of the best paints for covering, because we're going to get close here. And if you're wondering what these little latches are here, I put these on because the doors kind of warp over time. So if you put this on here, these little latches, it just keeps it nice and snug, especially down at the bottom too. But if we take a close look up, you could see how weathered it is, but that particular paint went in there nice. Now this is 2 coats, and I'll show you what this looked like before. So you take a look at that, and you could see how stained up it was from the weather. Now you take a look, and you could see that that white just pops. And I'm going to do the rest of the garage. I'm going to do the top as well in white over time. And at the side here, this is where I store my ladders. So let's go over to the to my camp, and I'll show you exactly the difference between a regular paint and this particular paint, which only comes in a flat, and it comes in 2 colors, this red and that white. Okay, so let's start off right here, and we're going to come right out to about here. And then I'm going to show you what it looked like last year. Now, is that a huge difference between what you're seeing, you know, from last year to now? And I redone this here maybe a week ago. And up here, it's metal. It's tin. It's not aluminum, it's tin. I never put any primer on, and I never washed it. So I mean, that turned out great, and you could see I did the white along the pressure treated boards. And if we come along the front here, I did the whole front like that as well, and it turned out fantastic. I'll tell you something, when you're looking at a paint, and I am going to get to the paint, when you're looking at a paint, you really don't know what you're getting until you actually put it on, right? So we're in the back of the cabin here, or the end, and now I'm going to show you. It's just incredible that how good it covered. So now let's just go to last year's picture of what this looked like, because I never had that door in there. And let's just take a look at that first. Now you see how stained up that was? And I never used any primer. I never washed it. I didn't do anything. And that's the same tin. And it turned out fantastic. So now I've got my generator shed here. I'm going to redo that. Of course, everything takes time, right? And that's where my shower room is. I'm going to redo that. I got to redo the outhouses with some paint. Everything is maintenance, right? And of course, as I'm painting around here, you could see there's quite a bit of grass to cut as well. And I would say on my tractor, I cut all this here. It takes me 3 hours to cut this. All in here. and all in behind there. And then the rest here is all done with my MTD Gold lawn tractor with a 50-inch cut. And it cuts all this. And it takes me about another 2.5 hours to cut all this. And it goes all the way out here to the road. So let's go inside. Let's take a look at the paint. Okay, so here we are here. Now, I've gone through 4 of these jugs so far. This is the white, this is the red, and it's just the barn and fence paint. And it's the only place that I've seen it so far is at Home Depot. But I'll tell you something. You can have this paint sit here for 2 or 3 weeks. Take the lid off, you don't have to stir it. And what's the reason for that? Look at that right there, ready to use. So have any of you ever used a paint before that you just take off the shelf, go home, don't have to even stir it? Because I'll tell you something, you open up one of these and it looks like it's been stirred. There's no fooling around with this paint. It goes on great, covers great. The only thing is it's strictly for outdoors, and that's what I want it for. Well, thanks for joining me here today, and thanks for taking a little bit of a look at my little place up in Northern Ontario. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw in a picture here. Up on the gable here, I have a security camera, and I want to show you what came by last week. Check this out. Okay, so that's during the daytime, and that moose and calf, sometimes when I come out, they're in the pasture just laying down, and sometimes they're over here, sometimes they're over there. They just love being around here, and you know, nobody bothers them. And I've got lots of wildlife up here. I'm seeing bears, wolves, deer, moose, you name it. Sandhill cranes. They make the strangest noises first thing in the morning. They're out here catching stuff in the fields. They got to be birds about this high, maybe 6 feet high. So thanks for joining me here today, and come back again. And if you ever want a good outdoor paint, that Behr barn and fence paint, #1 in my books.